When you learn any new language, in this case French, you'll usually be expressing the same thing. Who's doing what and when, and how many people are doing it. Whether it's my credit card is damaged and doesn't work, or sorry I was late, it's always the same thing. Who's doing what and when. Ma carte de banque ne fonctionne pas, and désolé d'être en retard, or désolé d'avoir été en retard. So this implies that you need a type of word that's called a verb. And these mostly represent actions. In any given sentence, there are different types of words, and verbs is one of them. A bicycle isn't an action. That's a noun, it's a different type of word. Running is an action. And by the way, all this is on my website. It's a complete system to learn French. I'm repeating what you'll find there. So different types of words equals different types of needs. We mentioned that a bicycle is a noun, and the transformation that you can bring to the word bicycle is quite minimal. It's the plural, essentially, the only transformation that you can apply to that word. One bicycle, several bicycles, and now you have an S. Un vélo, deux vélos, le vélo, les vélos. So it remains quite minimal, right? It's quite easy when you use nouns. The word running doesn't work like that. Between I run, I ran, and I'm running, there's been a transformation, there's been a modification. Even more so in French, because it's a different system from English. So at this early stage we can already conclude that we need a certain minimal amount of verbs to speak. If we only know 10 verbs, we won't go very far. And we need to know how to transform these verbs to say how many people are doing the action and when. Your job in French is to know this minimal amount of verbs, understand how we transform them according to the person and the tense. There are also other things to understand when we use verbs, such as the impact on prepositions, but we'll keep it simple for this example. So if you want to say, for example, j'ai pris le bus, I took the bus, it implies that you understand how the word taking, prendre, functions in the past. Also, it implies that you understand the function of this past tense. How would you achieve this? Well, known to science, there are mainly two methods. One, study it once and for all. Two, hope that it falls into place through repeated exposure. And we call this method learning by osmosis. And you would be surprised the number of people who stop at this first step. They know they'll have to express something in French, and yet they refuse to come equipped to the battle with the necessary tools. And this is where they fall short, and this is where they never properly learn French or can never properly use it. They don't have verbs, they don't know the tenses, they don't know the function of the tenses. And all this is on my website, by the way. There's no secret, just follow the steps, follow the inner brick road from A to Z. At the end of it, there'll be nothing more I can teach you in French. So if you want to say, for example, I don't know why, it's an answer to a statement or a question, I don't know why, je ne sais pas pourquoi. You'll need the verb savoir, which means to know. The verb of knowing is called savoir in French. So you'll have to know how to transform it in the present tense. Why the present? Because it's now that you don't know, or in general that you don't know. It doesn't have to be now this second, so in general you don't know. It's much different from ils ne savent pas pourquoi. They don't know why. So the transformation on the verb savoir is slightly different because there are different people doing the action. So you need to know how to build a negative also on top of knowing how to transform the verb savoir. Je sais, tu sais, il sait, elle sait, nous savons, vous savez, ils savent. You need to know how to build a negative sentence. You need to know what a negative sentence is by adding ne pas either side of the first verb usually. Ils ne savent pas pourquoi, or je ne sais pas pourquoi. And you need the question word pourquoi, which means why. So if you follow my explanation so far, you will need a minimal amount of verbs, you will need to know how to transform them, you will need to know, to understand the tenses, why we use tenses, the function of these tenses, and you'll also need to know how to pronounce the letters and the words correctly. for people to understand you and for you to understand people. This is essentially the rule of the game in French. So I hope this was useful. Find my full method at OuiCommunicate.com. I want to say that failure is impossible. Follow the system and you will prevail. It was designed for your success. Thank you very much. My name is Chris.